I'd had heart failure in March, and I was on medication for that, and I was getting quite well. And actually, I was playing up to, well, one day I played 11 holes of golf, the best I ever did. The plan was to increase it by a couple of holes every week until I could play 18 holes. But unfortunately, having gone up from 4 to 7 to 9 to 11, it started coming back very quickly from 11 to 9 to 7 to 4. Due to the fact that I could not breathe. As soon as I did any exertion, I was out of breath totally. So I went to the doctor and they diagnosed COPD initially and gave me an inhaler, which at the time I must admit I did not think that was what the problem was. But I took their advice, took the inhaler, it did no good whatsoever. A couple of weeks later, and I'm getting worse, not better, I went back to the doctors and told them, and I said to them, incorrectly at the time, that I believed the problem was the diuretic I was taking wasn't strong enough, and that water was getting into my lungs, causing my breathing difficulties. So they doubled the diuretic I was on, and I thought that would solve my problem. Unfortunately, it didn't. I was getting worse still. Strangely enough, as soon as the exertion goes, so do the symptoms. So the breathing goes back to almost normal, and you don't feel too uncomfortable. It's a very strange situation. Anyway, Stephen phoned me and said, "How did you go on?" And I told him. I said, "No, this is what happened." And he said, "Dad," he said, "that's not your heart." He said, "That's long COVID." He said, "You've just described to me my symptoms that I've been having for 18 months and I'm getting treatment for." So he said, "Now, I am going to have a word with the clinic," he said, "and see if we can't get you some treatment while you're here." I must admit at the time I was very sceptical that this was the problem. The reassurance really of the cardiologist when I went back to see him again yesterday, and he gave us the results of the monitor and said that he could see an improvement in my heart function during the 4 days of the treatment, 4 days of the monitoring, and 2 of them days I'd had treatment. And during that period, he said he could see a marked improvement in my heart function. And he said my heart function, he reassured me that my heart function was not in such a situation that it needed intervention by mechanical means, i.e.
That was good news.
Pacemakers and defibrillators. He said you won't require them. He said, but my wife passed 12 months ago, and about a month ago I went to see her at the grave, and I told her I won't be long. I felt so ill.
We changed that, Arthur. We changed that.
Yeah.
We changed that.
Onwards and upwards. And I'd like to thank Roller Tapes running Markus for being such a gentleman and so caring